Guys are here, and I think you're in for some good information. We're fortunate to have the Army with us tonight, and we're certainly thankful for them providing us with the food, the sandwiches, and the good eats. So if you haven't had enough, or if you want seconds, feel free to dig in and eat some more. But we're fortunate to have Major Kevin Miller with us tonight. And also we got Sergeant Hall, and they're both here to tell you a little bit more about the scholarship program, the HPSP scholarship program that the military offers. So I'm going to turn things over to them at this time.
Okay, great, thanks. As I said, I'm Major Miller, Sergeant Tom Hall. We are Army healthcare recruiters stationed out in Columbia. We cover most of the state of South Carolina. So we're up here to talk to you a bit about the scholarship. I apologize to you up front. We had a physician online to come talk to you to answer those medical specific questions, but he had to bail on us at the last minute. So we can answer most of your questions as long as it's not too specific to medicine. I'm a medical logistics officer by trade. Sergeant Hall is a medic, so we should be able to cover most of it. We can definitely cover the questions on the scholarship itself, and it looks like we got a broad base. So this Sergeant Hall is going to cover most of it, but I'll just tell you up front, the scholarship does cover vet school. It's slightly different, but medical school and dental school are exactly the same for the scholarship. So I'm going to pass these out. We got some pins, and we got these really fancy day planners that none of you are probably going to use. However, they are good stocking stuffers. If you got a little brother or sister or something, they love these things to scratch it. So you guys can please take one of these. But I'm going to pass out these pins. If you don't mind, these cards, if you don't want us to contact you, please just put your name down. I won't bug you to death, but if you want me to contact you or send you more information, you can put an email address down or a telephone number. I have to have something to show that I didn't just buy that food for my family. So that's the main reason for these. It just shows that we were out talking to people about the scholarship. So with that, I'll turn it over to Sergeant Hall, and I'll pass these out while he's talking. And if you have questions, you don't need to wait till the end or anything. Just fire away, and we'll try to keep on track and answer your questions at the same time.
Hey, good evening. As you said, my name is Staff Sergeant Hall, and we're just going to talk about the HPSP Health Profession Scholarship Program this evening. Has anybody heard of it before? You? Good things, bad things, mixed things. You heard about it from the Navy, from the Air Force, from the it's a scholarship offered by the military, the Department of Defense scholarship. And the Navy offers the same scholarship, the Air Force offers the same scholarship, the Army offers the same scholarship. The biggest difference is we're the biggest branch, so we have more slots compared to the Army and Navy. Okay, I'm just going to touch base on what the scholarship covers, and then we'll talk more about becoming a healthcare professional in the Army, why it's a good choice, why it's a strong choice for your career. First off, it covers medical school, dental school, 3 years of vet school. Any school of your choice that's in the United States or Puerto Rico has to be accredited. Full tuition is covered. It covers your books, covers the majority of your fees to get in, and it also covers $2,000 a month stipend. Right now, I think it's about $2,060.
$2,062 a month.
Okay, that's just money to live off. Because while you're going to school, we don't want you to have to get a part-time job someplace. We want you to not eat crappy ramen noodles. We want you to eat some of the name brand or organic ramen noodles or something while you're going to medical school. Okay, covers the entire 4 years of your program for again medicine and dental. That's essentially the program in a nutshell. Okay, to get into the program, MCATs, DATs must take your approving accreditation test. What we look for on the DAT is typically around the 16 or higher. MCATs was a 21 on the MCAT. Okay. When you're thinking about doing the scholarship, give us a heads up. That way we can at least get our eyes on you, talk to you more about the scholarship details, in depth, what your commitment's going to be. A lot of it that we do is mostly medicine. We do a lot of dental. We had Andrews, Mr. Andrews, come from Clemson last year. He's in MUSC right now in the dental program down there. We also put in Wesley McElwain, who's in medicine, School of Medicine down there at MUSC. How the portion works as far as coming on to us, it's a boarding process. You're going to be competing for these slots. Like I said, they're Navy, Air Force. Everybody's looking really at a specific amount of slots. So you're going to be looking at GPA, they're looking at your MCAT, your dental score, so on and so forth. And in that competition, there's going to be a board for it. And the board going to be, people are going to get selected. Some people might be pushed off to the order, depending on where we stand in the slots. Okay? It's a fast sell. So if anybody's thinking about it, or after this brief, they're like, hey, look, it sounds like a really good idea, maybe something I'd like to do, come get with us. Okay, we sold out 4-year scholarships, goodness, in 3 months as soon as they opened up last year. We do occasionally offer 3-year scholarships, but those are a little bit harder to get because there's so many people that apply for the 4-year scholarships that they go on the order of merit list. So when the next year rolls around, we end up giving the OML guys the 3-year scholarships. That's a scholarship in a nutshell. All right. So essentially, what we do to you is we provide you with that dental school, that education, the school of your choice, and we ask for a 4-year commitment after you finish your residencies, all your training. Okay. What does that 4-year commitment entail? Typically, a staff physician, staff dentist at one of our facilities here in the United States or overseas, and you're doing nothing but gaining fantastic work experience for the outside. Yes, sir?
So it's only 4 years? What if you have like a 6-year residency?
If you do a longer residency, if you decide to pick up a general surgery residency, which is typically 6 years, then it's going to be a 6-year commitment on the payback. It's 4 years if you have a residency that's 4 years or smaller. Something
So it's the higher of the two.
So it's the higher of the two, absolutely correct. Okay. That's the HPSP scholarship in a nutshell. Okay. Why military medicine? Why go into the Army? Why become a doctor for the Army? Why become a dentist for the Army? Okay. Amazing opportunities, amazing benefits. Not only will you finish your degree, you become a doctor of medicine, dentistry, veterinarian, you go into the military in a clinical setting, and right off the bat, you're going to be paid more than your counterparts coming right out of school. All right? You're taking a look at about the average resident in the military is earning right around $70,000 a year, coming right out of medical school going into the residency.
The average for the state of South Carolina is right around 50. So it's a pretty big difference. And I'm going to jump in here.
Sure.
The process, after we can cover the process as far as the application process and all that, but when you're in medical school, dental school, vet school, what's expected of you is you are a student. Okay, you're not going to be ever touched, pulled out for anything Army. Okay, you're not going to get pulled out and then sent off somewhere, and then your medical school or whatever stops. So that's one important note. What we do though is during the summer, in between your first and second year of medical school, you're expected to go to the Officer Basic Leadership course. Okay? It's a 6-week course down in San Antonio, Texas. It's a leadership course, so it's not like basic training. It's nothing like that. It's teaching you to be a leader in the Army. There's a didactic portion, there's a field portion. The field portion, what you're doing is you're going out and you're looking at what a combat support hospital is. It's basically a hospital in a tent. Okay, but they kind of run you through to see what the clinical setting is like and that sort of thing. During that time frame, your stipend stops. So that stipend runs for 10.5 months a year. The other remaining month and a half is active duty pay as a second lieutenant, which is more than the $2,062 each month. Okay, so you do that while you're in San Antonio. You're staying in what's basically a hotel room. So it's your own room. It's not like, if you know anything about basic training, you're staying in a large area with a bunch of other people. It's not like that. It's your own room. You're in what's called a temporary duty status. So while you're there, you're getting the full pay, but you're also paid TDY pay, or temporary duty pay, which is you get a per diem amount, which is a food amount, which in San Antonio is right around $56 to $60 a day. So I'm pretty sure most of us can eat $60 a day. But and that's in addition to your normal pay. During the other summers, what's expected of you if you have the time. Regardless, honestly, whether you do this next part or not, you're still going to get paid as a second lieutenant during that remaining month and a half. But what is expected is that during those 45 days, you'll put the uniform on again, and you'll go to a facility somewhere in the U.S. or possibly overseas. Those are very few and hard to get. But you'll shadow a physician or dentist or whatever your specialty is going to be. So you learn how it works in the military setting. And it also is a good networking opportunity. So if you know what specific residency you want to go to down the line, if you kind of pick that location, it's easier to say yes to somebody when you know their face, when their packet comes across your desk. Okay, so, or you can take those times, because there's also locations in Tripler, Hawaii, that you just spend 45 days in Hawaii. That's not a bad deal either. So, but that's how it works for during those summers. Now, like I say, if your school there's something going on with school, then school always takes priority. Okay, so that's where you're best served is in school. Then there's obviously a letter you'll have to do, but it's generally approved and it's not a problem. So once you graduate from medical school or dental school, say, I'm going to use medical school, so please just forgive me. Just assume dental, vet, insert yours, wherever. But what happens then is you are recommissioned as an active duty captain, and you go off to your residency program. Okay? Once again, during that time, regardless of how long it is, whether it's 3 years, 6 years, that entire time you are not touched. Again, your whole sole function in life is to go to that residency to become the physician that you're shooting for. Okay, or vice versa. Okay, so all of your time while you're a resident counts towards rank, it counts towards pay, it counts towards promotion. It does not count towards payback. Okay, that's an important thing to differentiate. Payback starts when you are done with your residency and you're that board certified physician and you're actually seeing patients at that point. Okay, so then it's going to be 4, or like say if you have a longer residency, then you owe that amount of time, which is just equal to the residency time. Okay, so any questions on that part at all? Okay. Yeah.
Based on your residency. Y'all pick the residency, we don't do the normal match? Or
no, you have a match program, it's run through a military match, so you find out, as opposed to normal match time frame comes out Thursday in March, I believe. You find out in December instead, so when everybody else is waiting, trying to find out, you already know. Now, it is possible to apply to a civilian residency. Those have not been granted too frequently in the past, but we are getting more and more numbers, so it looks like in the future it may be more of a viable possibility. However, the biggest difference there is if you don't go to a military residency, you don't get paid military pay. You get whatever that civilian residency pays you. And you're put on what's called head delay. So once you're done, then you come in and then you serve your time at that point. And there could possibly be time incurred for getting a civilian residency. So those would be things to look at down the line if you start looking at route. Yes?
Are there routes to do a fellowship after residency?
Absolutely. You apply to those just like you would any other type of fellowship. The gentleman that we had speaking at Newberry for us is sports medicine. Well, his family practice doc, he went to a sports medicine fellowship. And that one was done at a civilian fellowship. They had him in the military, but he was able to apply to a civilian. And what he had to pay back was 2 years for 1 year. So that was his deal there. He went to one up in Fairfax. So he was in that area.
So it's 2 for 1 for the combined residency plus a fellowship?
No, like I say, he went to a civilian fellowship, which normally, if you'd gone to the Army Sports Medicine Fellowship, it would have been 1 year that he owed for that 1 year of fellowship. But because he chose a civilian route, he tacked on an extra year. So the Army's good for that. And that's what you get. I mean, as much, the Army's going to give you plenty, but then they're going to ask for time on the backside. Okay. And I don't think, did you mention the $20,000?
No.
Okay. In addition to everything else for medical and dental school, there is a $20,000 cash bonus that comes along with it.
I figured that wasn't important.
Yeah. No, it's not important at all. And that's paid in 3 installments, 9, 9, and 2. I don't know why they break it up that way. It just is. But it's typically what happens is after you get your first stipend check, then a couple weeks later you'll get that first $9,000, and then it's monthly after that until it's gone. And Uncle Sam does take his portion right back out.